Fight Me No Mind show. We're back in New York City. Tonight's big fight was obviously the Showtime 154-pound triple header with all of the champions, the world champions at super welterweight, junior middleweight. I'm back in the building with my man Adam Sperber of the Boxing Voice. This is my guy right here. This is my chaperone when I'm in the city. Huge card tonight. Significant. Where do you want to start, man? And I had to put out the preface that this is the after hours.
It is.
What the chop up?
As a boxing journalist should go out and have a couple of cocktails after the fight, as we did, because we worked hard.
Right.
On our feet for what, 7 hours?
Yes.
Or something like that.
You had more access than me. You had more access than me as usual. But let's get into it. Let's jump into the opener for the Showtime telecast, which was actually arguably should have been the finale. But the physical, brutal fight between Austin Trout and the defending champion, Jarrett Hurd.
One of the best junior middleweight fights that I can recall. Austin Trout started off the fight very strong. Used good movement, was putting his hands on Hurd, made Hurd look amateurish. And we've seen this before from Jarrett Hurd. Remember when we see Jarrett Hurd fight Tony Harrison? And Tony Harrison, early on in the fight, put a big lead. But Jarrett Hurd has this intangible quality of learning his opponent throughout the fight. And he expedites his knowledge in a very high level. So by the third or fourth round, maybe it's because his physical size, Jarrett Hurd is a big super welterweight.
Yes. With
a very strong chin and very determined. Used his determination, used his strength and size to put on Austin Trout. And I had a great seat for it. Austin Trout, after a certain amount of time, could not take that pressure from Jarrett Hurd. And that's been the MO of every opponent I've seen. He ran him over. And it was a very impressive performance.
Would you attribute Hurd's success to the inactivity for Austin Trout?
No.
He had the fast start.
Not at all.
So that kind of took that off the board.
Not at all.
Now, the criticism was Hurd was the weakest link amongst the champions at 154 pounds. The big question coming into this was what we saw against Tony Harrison. Would he show us something different? Because I felt, and I talked to Jarrett Hurd, he said he basically adopted a certain game plan, knowing that Harrison would fatigue and he'd be able to stop him. And he said once Harrison was boxing him as well as he did through the first 5 to 6 rounds, he was basically able to wear him down.
I don't buy any of it. No.
Get him out of there.
Jarrett Hurd's a tank, and you're going to have to hit him with a cast iron skillet to knock him out. And he's going to just keep coming forward. And he knows how to put his hands on you after a couple of rounds. He'll figure it out. There's no rocket science with Jarrett Hurd. He's a road grader. He's like an offensive lineman in the junior middleweight division, and he's going to keep coming at you. So if he was to fight another top-level junior middleweight, I expect the same. Again, it's not the sweet science. It's the strength. It's the power. It's the chin. It's the determination. My man keeps going forward, and you gotta. I mean, like I said, it's gonna be hard to stop this young man, because I will tell you something. Watch the first 2 or 3 rounds against Trout. Watch it on the replay. Trout not only was putting his hands on Hurd, but I was also moving and turning him around, was being very scientific with it. We saw a very good Austin Trout tonight. Very focused Austin Trout tonight. You got to give Jarrett Hurd his credit, in my opinion.
Do you think that Hurd just totally ignored, and maybe Hurd's camp totally ignored the some of the different things that we usually hear on telecast about the foot positioning with, it's a foot battle of the fighter that stays outside when you're fighting that southpaw. Do you think he totally ignored that tonight?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, he did. And I'll give you the reason. Because you know what? And I paid attention to it. Austin Trout was putting his lead foot outside of
Jarrett Hurd.
Jarrett Hurd's lead foot. But It was that strength. It was that pressure. It was that determination. It was that mental strength. Not getting frustrated by a seasoned southpaw who decisively beat Miguel Cotto. I mean, he beat Miguel Cotto clean. And that didn't discourage him. And a lot of fighters it would. So it's that mental aspect that Jarrett Hurd has. That a lot of fighters don't have that. In fact, most fighters don't. To keep going forward through the fire, to carry on. He carried it on to victory, in my opinion.
Do you think, and I'm getting a little technical, which I usually avoid on most Pay Me No Mind, either the podcast or this series that me and Adam are doing, did you think it, and this was something I noticed, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I thought that it was a little problematic for Jarrett Hurd that his left hand stayed on the wrong side of his face.
Oh, he got touched up.
He
got touched up. There's no doubt about it. Austin Trout landed a lot of clean blows on Jarrett Hurd. One thing about Jarrett Hurd is he keeps his head in pretty much the same position and his chin down, and he sees your punches coming. So, yeah, he does get hit, but he sees the punches coming. And we're going to get into the other fights later where fighters got hit with punches they didn't see coming. Those are the punches that hurt you the most.
Exactly.
So, you know what? Yeah, it's not going to be aesthetically pleasing to get hit with clean shots straight on, but as long as you have your chin tucked in and you see the shots come at you, you're going to absorb them better. And that may not be a good long-term strategy for Jarrett Hurd, but it's working for him right now. It definitely worked for him tonight.